Hello, a wonderful evening to everyone. Welcome to Institute of Global Professionals free webinar. Thank you for joining us today in this marvelous evening, and it's my humble request and pleasure that you stay with us until the end. To our lovely audience, I am your host for the evening. My name is Annie Grace P. Solano, a preschool teacher from the Philippines. I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar. It is my delight to welcome you all to our institution. I am sure that you will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. You may click the like button and comment below during the session. Don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in the comment box. Let us watch and learn together. We believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge. Once again, I am Annie Grace P. Solano, a core volunteer and member in IGP. I am currently teaching at the International School for Children in Cavite, Philippines. Every day, some new participants join us, so let me give you a little concept about IGP. IGP, or Institute of Global Professionals, serves student and community resource, providing holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. IGP is a leading online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. We make it gettable to use for every knowledge seeker to originate a personality, be more ambitious, and be confident to face any circumstances and develop their own skills. We are interested with international recognition. Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution providing social work. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We organized our webinar, training offline and online courses by the best and trained speakers and coaches from all over the world to create the best learning platform for you. Our mission is to empower people and enhance their knowledge. We have already completed 484 webinars successfully. We expect that you will benefit in this webinar in both personal and professional life. And we wish that you all remain with us in this long journey. Let me remind you again to please share, tag, comment, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your attachment encourages us to do better and provide the best service to our lovely audience. I am cordially welcoming you all. Today, we are presenting the 485th webinar on sustainable education and real action with Dr. Kalyani Rao. Let us start our program with IGP's mantra, Feed Your Skills. Our speaker is from India. She is a global edu-environmentalist, UN Climate Reality COP, IBDP CAS coordinator, and an IAYP mentor. Please welcome Dr. Kalyani Rao.
Thank you, Annie, for a beautiful introduction. And I would like to congratulate IGP, Institute of Global Professionals, for this 485 episodes. I mean, the sessions. So I'm very glad. I'm very much you know lucky to have this 485, the number today's session. And today's my topic already you explained, sustainable education in unreal action. So before stepping into the subject, I would like to give a small introduction about me. I'm from Vishakhapatnam, the coastal city of Andhra Pradesh, the south part of India, and I have turned up my HR professional profession too into academics and then into environmentalist. Because due to my passion towards nature and about the students' motivation. So it dragged me from my management profession to education. And then finally, I'm into sustainable development goals and I enjoy being with students in motivating them through sustainable development goals. And today I'm going to present my PPT. Let me share my PPT. Hope you're all able to see my PPT here. So I'm a dual postgraduate in HR management and in PG IRPM, Industrial Relations Person Management. Then I've been into IB curriculum as DP CAS coordinator, and then International Award for Young People. I'm a trained mentor and used to train children on the skill development. And I'm a solid waste management professional, Six Sigma Green Belt certified from USA. I'm an UN Climate Reality Leadership Corp of 26th batch from UN, and also I'm a climate action and global project facilitator for this action, Take Action Global and other projects. And I worked on many global projects as a facilitator and project director. And also I am in country ambassador for T4 Insights and T4 country recently in 2022, and teach SDGs also. I'm into part of this as an ambassador, and even Global Schools Alliance of UK, I'm a part of this. I'm a meditator, regular meditator. I love Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I practice yoga and breathing techniques. My passion is cooking and, of course, nature and traveling a lot. Thank you. And I would like to step into the today's concept called sustainable education and real action. So before going to that, I just want to give a small information. What is education for sustainable development? Why the education has been connected to its sustainable development? So education for sustainable development promotes the development of the knowledge, skills, understanding, values, and actions required to create a sustainable world which ensures environmental protection and conservation, promotes social equity, and encourages social economic sustainability. What is the history? We would like to know the history of the sustainable development. The concept of sustainable development formed on the basis of the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. The summit marked the first international attempt to draw up the action plans and strategies for moving towards a more sustainable pattern of development. The Brundtland Report says it's published in 1987 by the United Nations World Commission on Environment Development, coined the term called sustainable development. It and defined it as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. What is sustainable development? I want to brief about this now. Sustainable development is the organizing principle for meeting human development goals while simultaneously sustaining the ability of natural systems to provide the natural resources and ecosystem services on which the economy and society depend. The desired result is a state of society where living conditions and resources are used to continue to meet human needs without undermining the integrity and stability of the natural system. All systems and societies naturally develop. However, in this day and age, right now, the present age, development is moving at breakneck speeds. Thanks for the advancements in the technology nowadays. The only one problem is that not everyone considers that the downsides that come along with the unbalanced economic growth, including its impacts on the people, well-being, environment. But it's about the time people start to change their perspective on unbalanced economic development by viewing the world in a completely different way. So what is going to help, how it's going to help people to achieve the sustainable development goal setting? Though the promoting by promoting lifestyle skills for sustainable livelihoods, secure psychological and physical resilience and well-being, emphasize quality learning contents, promote gender equality, encourage the equitable transition to green technologies and sustainable industries, support the crucial role of the cities and the communities, transform the culture of production and consumption, then fight against the climate changes, protect the oceans and marine resources. These many aims are there in this ESD, I mean sustainable development. Then there is a heavy emphasis on making sure that what is built can be maintained and repaired in a way that minimizes the degradation of the original development so that the lifespan of a facility is longer and normal. Sustainable development involves satisfying the needs of the present population without endangering the capability of future population to satisfy its own needs. It's about improving the well-being of everyone wherever they are and achieving this milestone collectively. This means we want companies to expand, people to have the best jobs, everyone to afford nutritious food, wherever they live, quality and affordable education for everyone, freedom of speech without violence, and our economies should go to grow exponentially. We want to develop the innovative technologies while keeping the environment safe. Sustainable development is not just about the environment. Its focus is
Excuse me,
much broader.
excuse me,
Yes.
Dr. Kalyani.
Yes.
Would it be okay if you presented the slide presentation?
It's going. It's one by one. It will go. It's there. I'll go there accordingly. I'm
Can
still explaining the history and the sustainability.
can you do it in presentation mode instead, so
If
we
I
don't
put a
see all
presentation
the
mode,
slides on the side?
uh, if I put in presentation mode, I was unable to read my speech here, what I written of myself. Just a minute. I found because that is the
Yeah.
problem I'm facing here.
Okay.
No, if I put it in a full mode, I cannot
Mm-hmm.
able to see the points which are already noted for this session.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
okay?
Because
Because
I
if
think
I
it's
just show
too
you,
small. So maybe you can hide the slides on the side.
okay, okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that okay now? So, the sustainable development is not just about the environment, its focus is much broader than that. It's all about meeting the diverse needs of people and different communities, social cohesion, creating equal opportunities to ensure a strong and healthy society. Sustainable development also focuses on finding better ways of doing things without affecting the quality of life. The components of sustainability are most important are economic growth, environmental stewardship, and social inclusion. The countries are recognizing the importance of conserving natural resources. People are switching to cycling instead of driving. That will improve their health. Farmers are practicing climate smart agriculture, and industries are realizing as to much how much they can save from through this energy efficiency. Understanding the sustainable development and its goals is the first step to learn and what we can do to make it happen. There are many initiatives already in place, but still many roadblocks to sustainable development that have to be overcome. The main important points are envisioning a better future, identifying relevance, explores how to achieve change, offers direction and energy, results in ownership of visions, critical thinking and reflection, develops the ability to participate, provides a new perspective, promotes alternative ways of thinking. Participation goes beyond the consultation, decision making and responsibility, and creates a greater sense of ownership that builds the capacity for self resilience. So now we're talking about the goals and the benefits what is about and involved in the sustainable development. There are many few also primary goals which is important sustainable development, that is to minimize the depletion of natural resources when creating a new developments, to create a development that can be maintained and sustained without causing further harm to the environment, to provide the methods of retrofitting existing developments to make them environmentally friendly facilities and projects. Global organizations such as the United Nations, NGOs, aid organizations, and even governments are increasingly sponsoring efforts to ensure sustainable goals are realized for every individual. The benefits of sustainable development is very crispy and it's understanding, in an understanding mode. It helps in ensuring a better life for present and future generations, lowers the impact on the environment by reducing air, water, and soil pollution, helps in achieving long term economic growth and opportunities in this sustainable development through the education also, creating systematic changes, helping young people, opportunities for cross curricular links, developing 21st century skills, developing global citizenship skills. So, can we introduce sustainability in the classroom? Yes, we can. Like environmentally conscious practices within the school itself will create or maintain the health and safety practices within the schools by recycling or engaging in activities. Sustainability in schools can become normalized and more widespread. The purpose of the sustainability is, in addition to the natural resources, we also need social and economic resources. So sustainability is not just an environmentalism. These include social progress, equality, environmental protection, conservation, and natural resources, and even stable economic growth. So everybody has the right to have a healthy, clean, and safety environment. Then the role of SDGs, I mean, sustainable development in the modern world. So, what is the role of this in this present situation, present world? Education can improve the agricultural productivity, enhance the status of women, reduce the population growth rates, enhance environment protection, and generally raise the standard of living. By simply increasing basic literacy, will not support a sustainable society. So, institutional reform, curriculum reform, and development of local specific resource materials incorporating in education for sustainable development will be the priorities. Education for sustainable development requires including key sustainable development issues like teaching, learning a climate about the climate change, disaster risk reductions, poverty reductions, biodiversity, and sustainable consumption. It also requires participatory teaching and learning methods that motivate and empower learners to change their behavior and take action for sustainable development like conservation of energy, water, tree plantation, use of natural energy, etc. If the goals of sustainable development are to be realized, the attitudes of all stakeholders of education at all levels with regard to our current lifestyles and impact they have on the environment will need to change. And the desired outcomes of sustainable developments are has been already quoted by United Nations in order to achieve the same laid out 17 practical goals of desirable outcomes such as the UN sustainable that is United Nations sustainable development goals in 2015, which includes ending poverty, hunger, achieving food security, promoting sustainable agriculture, ensuring education for all, and promoting healthy well-being. There are four pillars of sustainability, including like human, social, economic, and environmental. So the most important is to specify which type of sustainability is the one dealing with, and it's so different. We should not be fused together, although some overlap to a certain extent. Specialists in each field frame best deal with these four types of sustainabilities. For example, social scientists have a lot of lot to say about social sustainability. Economists deal with economic sustainability, and biophysical specialists deal with environmental sustainability. Now, let us talk about first on human sustainability. Human sustainability aims to maintain and improve the human capital in society. Investments in the health and education system, access to services, nutrition, knowledge, and skills are all the programs under the umbrella of human sustainability. Natural resources are spaces, and spaces available are limited, and there is a need to balance continual growth with improvements to health and achieving economic well being for everyone. In the context of business, an organization will view itself as a member of society and promote the business values that respect the human capital. But human capital focuses on the importance of anyone directly or indirectly involved in the making of products or provision of services or broader stakeholders. The communities around the globe may be positively or negatively affected by business activities or impacted through methods using in the source of raw materials. Like human sustainability encompasses the development of skills and human capacity to support the functions and sustainability of the organization and to promote the well-being of communities and society. The second one is social sustainability. Social sustainability aims to preserve social capital by investing and creating services that constitute the frame of the society. The concept accommodates a larger view of the world in relation to communities, cultures, and globalization. It means to preserve future generations and to acknowledge that what we can do to have an impact on others, on the world. Social sustainability focuses on maintaining and improving social quality with concepts such as cohesion, reciprocity, and honesty, and the importance of the relationships amongst the people. It can be encouraged and supported by laws, information, and shared ideas of equality and rights. Sustainability incorporates the idea of sustainable development as defined by the United Nations SDG goals. The principle of sustainable development addresses social and economic improvement that protects the environment and supports the equality. And therefore, the economy and the society and the ecological system are mutually dependent. The third one is economic sustainability, which is most important for everyone in the world. Economic sustainability aims to maintain the capital intact. If sustainability focuses on improving social equality, economic sustainability aims to improve the standard of living in the context of business. It refers to the efficient uses of assets to maintain company profitability over time. Maintaining high and stable levels of economic growth is one of the key objects of sustainable development. Abandoning economic growth is not an option, but sustainable development is more than just economic growth. The quality of growth matters as well as quantity. So, as for the critics, the model acknowledges that a great gap in modern accounting practices is not to include the cost of damage to the earth in prices. A more recent approach to economics acknowledges the limited incorporation of the ecological and social components in this model. The new economics is inclusive of natural capital like ecological systems and social capitals like relationships amongst people. And the challenges of the mantra of capital that continue the growth of good and bigger is better if it risks causing harm to the ecological human system. The final one is environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability aims to improve human welfare through the protection of natural capital, that is, land, air, water, minerals, etc. Initiatives and programs are defined as environmentally sustainable when they are ensure that these needs of this population are met without risk of compromising the needs of future generations. Environmental sustainability as described, many places emphasis on how business can achieve positive economic outcomes without doing any harm in the short or long term to the environment. And environmentally suitable businesses seeks to integrate all four sustainability pillars and to reach each the aim each one needs to be treated equally. The principle of four pillars of sustainability states that the complete sustainability problems to be solved in a relation to all these four pillars of sustainability and then need to be maintained. Then we are describing about the role and the themes. The role does education what role does the education plays in sustainable development? The good quality education is the goal number 4, called involved in SDGs 17, that is Sustainable 17 goals, is an essential tool for achieving a more sustainable world. This was emphasized at the UN World Summit in Johannesburg in 2002, where the reorientation of current education system was outlined as a key to sustainable development. Education for sustainable development promotes the development of knowledge, skills, understanding, values. Already I've mentioned about that to create a sustainable world. The concept developed largely from environmental education, which has to sort out to develop the knowledge. And the aim of the ESD, that is Education for Sustainable Development, the short form, I'm just going to tell about the ESD. So the aim of the ESD is to enable people to make decisions and carry out actions to improve quality of life without compromising the planet. So it is going to aim to integrate the values inherent to in sustainability into all aspects of levels of learning. So the key themes, what are the key themes of ESD? While the dominant focus is on environmental concerns, it is also addresses themes such as poverty, elevation, citizenship, peace, ethics, responsibility in local and global context, democracy and governance, justice, human rights, gender equality, corporate responsibility, natural resource management, and biological diversity. It is generally accepted that certain characteristics are important for the successful implementation of ESD, reflecting the equal importance of both the learning process and the outcomes of education process. So let us go a little bit deeper about these key themes. Uh, the primary one is be embedded in the curriculum in an interdisciplinary and holistic manner, allowing for a whole institution approach to policy making. Then share the values and principles that underpin sustainable development. Followed by that, promote critical thinking, problem solving, and action, all of which develop confidence in addressing the challenges of sustainable development. Then employ a variety of educational methods such as literature, art, drama, and debate to illustrate the processes. Allow the learners to participate in decision making on the design and the content of educational programs. Address local as well as global issues and also, avoid the jargon-ridden language and terms. Look at to the future, ensuring that the content has a long-term perspective and uses medium and long-term planning. To promote ESD, the United Nations Decade of Education for Sustainable Development in 2005 to 2014, that was adapted by UN General Assembly with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, none other than UNESCO, designated as the lead agency to, for the promotion throughout the decade. The decade pursues, pursues a global vision of the world where everyone has the opportunity to benefit from quality education and learn the values, behavior, and lifestyles required for the sustainable future and for the positive social transformation. The goal of the decade, as outlined by UNESCO, is to integrate the principles, values, and practices of sustainable development into all the aspects of education and learning. This aims to encourage the changes in behavior that will create a more sustainable future. One of the most important aspects of DSD is the recognition of education in sustainable development must engage a wide range of stakeholders from government, private sector, civil society, non-governmental organizations, and the general public. UNESCO states that ESD is fundamentally about values, particularly respect for others, including those of present and future generations, for difference and diversity, for the environment and the planet resources. Education enables to understand ourselves and others and our links with a wider natural and social environment. This understanding serves as a durable basis of responsibility, exploration, and dialogue. ESD aims to move towards adopting the behaviors and practices which enables us to live a full life without being deprived of human basic needs. Now we are going to talk about the tips of sustainable education. There are many tips which I'm going to elaborate. Before elaborating, I'll just read the topics. First one is the beware of student overload, avoid doom and gloom, focus on quality of life issues, peer engagement and support, student analysis of data, deconstruct echo rhetoric, precautionary principle, embrace indisciplinary. So first one is the beware of the student overload. The rhetoric of urgent and global environmental crisis can overwhelm students when they consider the immensity of the problems humanity face and difficulties involved in coping up with them. These feelings of cognitive and emotional overload can cause students to feel disengaged, disempowered, and even resentful, which disrupt the following process, like avoiding avoid doom and gloom. Why we are talking about this? This is most important thing here. While teaching students that many challenges in the environmental sustainability will necessarily introduce to some extent of some risk to overload, teachers can limit this by being sure to discuss environmental success stories instead of telling the disasters of too much of emotional effective. So, for example, this may include discussion of environmental policies or movements that have succeeded in mitigating pollution, conserving resources, or promoting ecological resiliency. Whatever the success, incorporating them into courses can help students envision a future that is shaped by that agency and avoid any descent into cynical resignation or fearful reaction. Focus on quality of life issues. Students facing emotional overload of environmental problems can easily feel that their entire lifestyle is threatened by resources limits and environmentalists who champion living simply. Educators can sometimes add to this sense of threat by taking a moralizing perspective an unyielding approach to more sustainable lifestyles. An alternative approach to engage students by discussing their definitions of happiness and a quality of life and whether they are correlated with the high levels of consumption and resource use. If students reflect prior reach findings, they will often argue that that the two are not highly correlated, now providing a basis for a positive discussion of alternative lifestyles and social changes associated with them. The peer engagement and support. Peer engagement and support, engaging students here in group sessions, group discussions, and projects in which have the opportunity to dialogue and support one another can help to alternate these feelings of overload. It can allow for the moments of problem solving, debate, analysis, teamwork, and reflection, and that are so crucial to develop the critical thinking and leadership skills students need to face the complex problems. Then, the students' analysis of data. Students may learn more about a given environmental problem by wrestling with empirical data for themselves rather than receiving pre-digested analysis from lectures or secondary sources. In doing so, they will not only with methodological and theoretical issues of data analysis and presentation, but they will be empowered to examine environmental issues with greater um, greater view and the insights. Then deconstruct the eco rhetoric. Spend time investigating the historical origins and often conflicting uses of environmental technologies such as sustainability, environmentalism, stewardship, nature itself, and other languages. Like this will provide a valuable teaching moments about the historical development of environmental studies, and it will empower students to examine environmental problems and solutions more critically. Then comes the precautionary principle. It is defined. The precautionary principle states that if any action risks causing harm to the public or the environment, and there is no scientific consensus, then it is indeed harmful. The burden of proof that it is not harmful falls on those who taking the action. An often debated principle, it provides a useful starting point for the class discussions of how to make decisions under conditions of uncertainty. It is also offers an opportunity to discuss policy options regarding the resource use and trade-offs between potential environmental harm on one hand, and economic or political costs on the other. Embrace the interdisciplinary crucial a crucial and thorough understanding of issues related to environmental sustainability necessarily involves contributions from a wide variety of disciplines throughout the natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities. Excuse me. This may this may be daunting for students and educators alike, since it often requires us to think outside of our intellectual expertise. Doing interdisciplinary well can be a challenge, but it becomes easier with a more effective use of resources on one's campus, community, and beyond, such as team teaching with a colleague from a different discipline, organizing guest lecture from across the campus, or bringing guest speakers from other local communities. Mostly, however, it requires courage to step out of one's comfort zone to explore topics that will enrich the learning experience for our students, and that will going to stimulate us to think in new ways as educators. Then, why we have to promote and what is the importance and achievement of the sustainable development? Providing the right information and education can change people's values and behaviors, encouraging them to adopt more sustainable lifestyles. It can also break the cycle of poverty, malnutrition, and disease that affects so many worldwide, like understanding by going beyond awareness, values clarification, and change for sustainability, promoting capacity building opportunities, sorry. So systematic change by helping learners develop the skills, integration and innovation, transformation and individual behavior, alternative futures by using positive methods, reflection, negotiation, and participation, and also encouraging a collaborative learning process. So, how we can achieve then the sustainable growth in the development, and universalize access to basic services such as sanitation, water, and sustainable energy, support the generation of development opportunities through inclusive education and decent work, foster innovation and resilience infrastructure, creating communities and cities able to produce and consume sustainably. Then the next one is we are talking about sustainable development goals, its importance, and how it's going to help or even uh, how to achieve the aim also in sustainable development through education, and why SDG 4, that is quality education, why it is so important. So I'm just starting from the importance of the sustainable development goals in education. Students need to learn about the world, we know that, and SDGs are universal goals for all the people and all are inherently global in nature. Learning about these initiatives helps the students to develop insights into critical issues and around the world through such as lack of access to clean up water and gender equality. So we need to guide them on this. And how do the SDGs help achieve the universal education? So SDG goal number 4, that is quality education, aims at ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities. This goal ensures that all the girls and boys should complete free pre-primary and secondary schooling by 2030. That is the aim of actually UN. And what does the aim of the SDGs to achieve for this 2030? This their aim is known as also global goals, are adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end the poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy the peace and prosperity. And why SDG 4 is so important? It aims to provide equal access to affordable vocational training, to eliminate gender and wealth disparities and achieve universal access to a quality higher education. How can it going to achieve equality in education through sustainable development? By 2030, ensure that all these students, including boys and girls, as we told, as already informed you, they should achieve the quality education and childhood development, care, pre-primary education should complete. Also ensure equal access for women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational and tertiary education including university level education. So the outcome targets of sustainable development goal are free primary, secondary education, equal access to quality pre-primary education, affordable technical, vocational and higher education, increased number of people with relevant skills for financial success, elimination of all discrimination in education, universal literacy. It helps people become better citizens, get a better paid jobs, shows the difference between the good and bad. Education shows the importance of hard work, at the same time helps to grow and develop. Thus, we are able to shape a better society to live in by knowing and respecting rights, laws, and regulations. I want to elaborate a little bit about the outcome targets of the goal number 4, which is involved in that. The goals are not being adopted yet, and the targets of the goals are subject to change. To ensure that all the girls and boys' education should be complete from the primary and secondary level, and ensure that all the quality education and should be with the care and pre-primary education that you already discussed. Ensure equal access, that is also I told you, and then increase the increase the number of youth and adults to have a relevant skills, including technical vocational skills for employment and entrepreneurship. Eliminate the gender disparities in education and ensure equal access to all the levels of education and vocational training for the vulnerable, including the persons with disabilities. Never leave anybody behind, who are indigenous people and children in vulnerable situations too. Ensure that all the youth and adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. Ensure all learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles. Human rights, gender equality, promote a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation for cultural diversity. Build and upgrade the education facilities that are child, disability, and gender sensitive and provide safe, inclusive, effective learning environmentals for all of us. So by 2020, expanded by globally, the number of scholarship for the developing countries increased by the supply of the qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training in developing countries. We are nowadays we are seeing a lot of government and non-government organizations are providing a lot of vocational training for teachers and even for development free programs they're organizing to bring the cooperation between teachers globally and to develop the global education. So every girl and boy in the world should get a free quality primary education. That is 100%. And that is the one of the new set of global goals which world leaders will have the opportunity to adopt at the United Nations at the United Nations. But education is key to every one of the of all the sustainable development goals to understand these sustainable development goals and activate on that and work on that. So education has a unique power to catalyze gains in other areas. Very few, if any, health or economic interventions will be sustainable without gains in education. Then we have to talk about the quality education achievements and its targets and its internal details about the targets, how to achieve this. So that is the higher education and the sustainable development. This special issue of this higher education focuses on higher education and sustainable development goals. The 17 goals adopted by the United Nations members in 2015, which covers a broad range of issues related in socio-economic, environmental, and technological development, and apply to all the world's countries, and not only those are normally considered to be a developing or emerging. As a part of its broad remit, the SDGs expanded the focus beyond primary and secondary education to territory include the global education, even from the rural side also, rural end also. This was an important move as higher education was missing from the international development agenda as advanced by previous sets of development goals, that is Millennium Development Goals and Education for All. That was the previous one, we all knows it. And what about the education for sustainable development in 2030? Towards achieving the SDGs in 2030 is a global frame for the implementation of ESD that we all understood till now, that ESD for 2030 builds upon the lessons learned about the Global Action Program, that is GAP on ESD, that has been formed in 2015 to 2019 in response to the increased importance placed on ESD to promote the contribution of learning content to the survival and prosperity of humanity. So ESD for 2030 places emphasis in education's contribution to the achievement of SDGs. It aims to review the purposes and value that underpin the education and reorient all levels of education and learning to contribute to sustainable development and to strengthen the education and learning in all the activities that promote sustainable development. Given the fact that there is a little time left to achieve the SDGs, it is crucial to accelerate ESD, education and sustainable development, in the decade of Action 4, that is quality education, to deliver the goals. So, as the follow up to the Global Action Program, ESD for 2030 was approved by UNESCO general conference as its 40th session and acknowledged by the UN General Assembly at its 74th session in 2019. There's a gap of 4 years for this. And then coming to the global frame implementation of ESD 2020 to 2030, how to achieve this SDGs between this. ESD is a key element of quality education. We all know it. It's a cross-cutting competencies in cognitive, social, emotional, and behavioral dimensions of learning bear relevance to all the areas of education. Its particular emphasis on competencies related to empathy, solidarity, and action taking can help advance SDG 4 in building a future where education contributes not only to the success of individuals but also to the collective survival and prosperity of the global community. It will also help the global education agenda improves away improves move away from an exclusive focus on excess and quality measured mainly in the terms of learning outcomes toward an increased emphasis on learning content and its contribution to sustainability of people and the planet. In this way, education and sustainable development connects SDG 4 number 4 with all the SDGs, and the goal ESD for 2030 aims to build more just and the sustainable world through the strengthening and contributing to the achievement of 17 SDGs. So, objective to the of this ESD and the Sustainable Development Goals of 17 goals into policies. It's going to connect with the policies, learning environments, capacity buildings of educators, environment, the empowerment and the mobilization of young people and the local level action. So there is a key called 4.7 SDG target 4.7. So what is that SDG to 4.7 is just one of the key targets in the SDGs that addressing the purpose of quality education. It ensures that all the learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including among others through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, and global citizenship's appreciation of culture diversity and of culture's contribution of sustainable development. So we are talking about this. I already explained this SDG target number 4.7, and then I'm going to talk now about the achievements of ESD, enabling achievement of the 17 ESDs. The global efforts led by the policymakers, educators, Learner 5, practitioners, and youth through this GAP and the UN Decade on Education and Sustainable Development and beyond have made considerable progress in all parts of the world. Building these lessons learned, ESD for 2030 addresses the challenges of the day, in particular with the following three key features. Almost more than three key features are there, and namely emphasis on education's role for 17 SDGs. There's going to be focus on big transformation, the emphasis on member states of leadership. The five learners refers to students in formal schools, technical and vocational education and training institutions. Trainees in private companies and training institutions, that is internship trainees, those learning in lifelong learning and non-formal learning institutions uh, are outside of the education institutions. The educators includes the teachers, trainers, local communities, parents, and family members. I'm just decoding the words which we're going to use it here. So ESD raises the awareness of the 17 goals in education system settings, that is enhancing the understanding of learners and the general public and what the SDGs are and how these goals connect with individual and collective lives. Then SDG promotes critical and uh, contextualized understanding of the SDGs. Sustainable development often requires a balancing act among diverse views and priorities. ESD raises questions on the interlinkages and tensions between the different SDGs that provides learners with the opportunity to navigate the required balancing acts with its holistic transformational approaches. The ESD mobilizes action towards the achievement of SDGs also. This SDG affords addresses sustainable development issues like more specifically like mobilizing action for sustainable development, education settings, in particular in communities through whole institutional approaches to ESD. So, what is the aim of this life skills? I mean, what is the educational sustainable developments? Why it is going to aims life skills only? So, it promotes life skills for sustainable livelihoods and to address the unequal distribution of wealth address causes and consequences of hunger and malnutrition. Secure psychological and physical resilience and well-being also one of the point we have to remember. Emphasizing quality learning contents and their contribution to the survival and prosperity of humanity, promote gender equality in particular with regard to specific gender sustainability challenges, accelerate adequate and equitable access to water as a global common, as a global common particular. It's a good promotable sustainable product, and clean and adorable energy, green lifestyles, foster alternatives, values, and economic models of circularity, fairness, and solidarity. So, encouraging this equitable transition to green technologies and sustainable industries tackle inequalities in all the forms, with particular emphasis on environmental justice. Support the crucial role of the in cities and communities as places of meaningful transformative actions. Transform the culture of production and consumption, fight against the climate changes by improving education awareness, raising and human raising and human and institutional capacity, protect the oceans and marine resources through ocean literacy and action, promote biodiversity conservation and restoration as a fundamental basis of human survival and prosperity, ensure justice, peace, and inclusion as the basis of the sustainability, mobilize partners and resources for sustainable, resources for social transformations for sustainability. I'm going to talk on the key reflections on the SDGs for 2030. That is transformative action, structural changes, and then technological future. So fundamental changes required a sustainable future start with individuals, and ESG has to place emphasis on how each learner undertakes transformative actions for sustainability, including the importance of opportunities to expose learners to reality and how they influence social transformation towards the sustainable future. And structural changes, ESG must pay attention to the deep structural causes of unsustainable development. A balancing act between each economic growth and sustainable development is needed, and ESG should encourage learners to explore alternative values to those of consumer societies, as well as having a structure structural view on how to address ESG in the context of extreme poverty and vulnerable situations. The technological future, ESG has to respond to the opportunities and challenges brought about by technological advances. Some old problems will be resolved through the technological, but new challenges and risks will arise. Critical thinking and sustainability values become more relevant as the task of teaching ESD become more challenging with the illusion that technologies can resolve the majority of sustainability problems. Our transformation necessities, and among other things, a certain level of disruption with people opting to step outside the safety of the status, uh, the usual way of thinking, like behaving or living. So it requires courage, persistence, and determination, which can be present at different degrees, and which are the best resource from the personal conviction, insight, and or the simple feeling of what is right. So I'm going to talk upon this the differences between this already I've done. So I'm going to talk upon this relations between ESD, ES, and DE. Relations are between environmental education, education for sustainable development, and development education is complex, and the three often display more similarities than differences. All these three are essentially concerned with behavioral change through education and the promotion of values, attitudes, and understanding. The core value promoted by the three sectors of respect, what that is, number one is respect for yourself, respect for others, and respect for the world we live in, and respect for the planet too. However, a closer examination of each sector suggests that each has a primary aim or focus that sets apart from the others. Environmental education developed from the concern that development as that human development has having profoundly damaging effects is the aim of the effects on the natural environment and its primary aim is to protect and conserve the nature of the conservation of environment, including natural habitats and ecosystems. Development education's primary concern is the reduction of poverty, the promotion of social justice, and the improvement of quality life for people. It addresses basic human needs and links local and global actions. The development education focuses on interdependence and interconnectedness between people on a both global and local perspective, but does not traditionally extend this to ecosystem interdependence or specific environmental concerns. The development of education primarily focused on social issues of human rights, social injustice, human poverty, and world citizenship. It concerned with the building of knowledge, understanding skills, attitudes, values, and behaviors necessary to enable people to critically examine the world, its development, and its act to make it a more just or inequitable place. It has a much it has much in common with other forms of social and political education. The human rights education, peace education, multicultural education, education on race and race issues, environmental education, and ultimately citizenship education all have overlapping features and concerns with development education, although each has its own distinct character and focus. Education for sustainable development's primary concern is the most important of the quality of life for people and without damaging the environment. Therefore, all these three educations have much in common and they differ in primary goal accepted. The relationship between ESD and other education sectors is the subject of ongoing debate, with the latter often regarding ESD as being a part of their education. So, moreover, what many regards as the closest sector in ESD, environmental education is not a necessary content to be seen as an equivalent to ESD. Though many believe that ESD should embrace all these educational sectors to certain a level and with a sustainable development, assuming increasing the importance in policy and educational context, there will be a need for each of these sectors and their practitioners to explore more closely the commonalities between them. The education for sustainable development expands upon the social and human rights dimension in diploma of education, development of education, and other education sectors to include a strong environmental focus. So, education and sustainable development shares many similarities with development in education, um, and addresses issues such as climate change, oil shortages, water pollution, the need of maintain diversity as well as poverty, allegation, and human rights. So ESD and DE are also employed similar methodologies, including like critical thinking, problem solving, experimental learning, role play, guided interpretation, debate, futures thinking, and participatory decision making. The ESD also helps to develop links between the of people locally and in the developing world and encourages us to link our actions at a local level to the needs of the management of planet and its population. So, on the basis of intersector relationships, I mentioned previously, can we suggest that ESD is the umbrella for I would like to suggest that ESD is an umbrella for many other educations, or ESD or an element of all these educations. So this kind of question is also like to be answered in such a way to sustain further debate. But we can suggest that in the future these forms of education begin to identify areas of commonality with each other, begin to work more collaboratively in areas of good, and closely we can achieve the goals together. With that, I would like to conclude this sustainable development topic. Then uh, I'll go for the real action. Before that, I want to conclude this topic with a small in closure. Like An overview of ESD shows that the quality of the programs and work delivered is of a very high level. Moreover, the diversity of programs offered at present provides a good basis for any action plan on education for sustainable development and useful opportunities for intersectoral collaboration on common issues and areas. The relation between ESD, E, and D looks set to continue, but in the short term, these education sectors need to be network, share, and their practice and learn from each other. This is a like I said, the climate change campaign could serve as a model of good practice for this environment, development, and sustainable development educators in how they can work together in a network for the pursuit of shared goals, innovative and new projects in ASD and across all related education sectors need to be generated and developed to engage civil society groups in actions towards a sustainable world. I would like to go for the second PPT. That is on real action, and this is my favorite topic too. Sorry, the network is slow. Just bear with me. I'm sharing the second PPT, and I hope you all will enjoy this second PPT also. But this is more about real action. So the change is the real action, but not a prayer or meditation. These are the golden words by Dr. Dalai Lama. So change is a real action, but not a prayer or meditation. That means we have to act according to the present situation. We have to act. We can't wait, and we can't discuss also. Discussion time has been done, has been moved out. Now it's a real action time. So the real action is SDGs, what we can do in real action. So why we have to go for the real actions? Because the consequences in the climate is a major role, playing a major role in the world and on the planet. This is massive wildfires, hurricanes, droughts, floods. It's affecting entire people and including the animals. This is what the change we are finding since last 15 years, and last 5 years it was a drastic change. So the milestone started in 2010, and now today, 2030, the UN has given a goal, but still the 2030 is not going to be possible compared to the present situation. So they have given one more set of milestone is 2050. That's the recent one. So why it is happening? The current scenario is sea level rising, extreme weather conditions, increased precipitation, biodiversity. See here today, I'm sitting in the coastal area, and we have a the humidity is sultry and power cut problem, heat waves too much, and suddenly in the winter we get rains and floods. That means temperature is totally into unbalanced. So if this is going to continue, what is happening to happen? This is the situation. This is just my imaginary thing. So don't go into a scary level thoughts. Just is going to be a future. And why? Because we have to develop the respect. These are the inputs of this PPT. I'll go one by one. So awareness on healthy food, save water, value of education, inject the gender equality, analysis of poverty, interdependence between the humans and earth, avoid deforestation, take real action, leadership programs. So develop, the first one is develop the respect and love towards our planet. Have you ever thought of mother at our home? Similarly, the mother earth is also our mother. We are living in her home. Actually, we are building our entity in her home. So we have to respect her. How and why? I'll let you know this, because Mother Earth is nothing but we are. It's we are the generation. Maybe generations can move, but Mother Earth will be stable. So we have to give the same respect what we're giving to our own biological mother, and how we are cleaning our house, keeping our house healthy and neat and clean. Similarly, we have to maintain on the earth also. That is the reason people are obliging and people are dishonoring and ignoring these points. Now the pollution has been increased, carbon footprint has been increased, green gas emissions have been increased. So these are all totally covered the mother earth, and mother earth is unable to breathe now. She is in under suffocation. So that's the reason we are getting the heat waves, we are getting hurricanes, all these floods, and the snow mountains and Antarctica has been dissolved, and you can just imagine the animals over there. For thousands years, hundreds of years, it takes time to build that snow mountains, to form that snow mountains, but now it is all melting down. Just think about this. So awareness on the healthy food, first point. So this is the place where we will start our healthy life. So nutrition expert, what we have to teach the students and sustainability health about sustainable health. So organize the nutrition experts, because educator cannot be an expert in all the areas. So try to bring nutrition as experts, maybe it's offline or online, depend upon the situation. Organize some culinary workshops based upon the healthy food. Cultivate the mindset, cultivate the idea, the behavior or the thought about the healthy food intake instead of taking junk food. So junk food always again creating a pollution on the earth. That is what we have understood through the UN training programs. So healthy food always give you food, best diet, and also healthy mind, and then you're going to do your fitness classes. You make yourself, because COVID time everybody realized the importance of the health. So we all started the old ancestors, health habits, and the fitness programs, yoga, etc. and all. So why can't we do it every day in the regular life? So every time, every now and then we will be healthy. Every day we'll be healthy. Why should we wait for COVID situation? So people have done continuing, they have been saved. People have not continued, not if they have ignored the health diet or healthy foods, they have been affected during the COVID time, as per my observation. And I had never been affected with the COVID, because I maintained a healthy diet and the fitness and the breathing techniques of ancient techniques of yoga. The sustainable healthy food, also the factory visits. You can take the children how the factories you waste a lot of food, and how they're going to prepare the food. On seeing this, then children will have an idea what to eat, what not to eat. So create a kind of internship program, give the task to them, let them go a survey, or you take them to the factories, make them to understand and explain it, ask them to write the review as a internship or the reflection, or the maybe they can write a blog rating or anything. And then coming to the save water, this is the most important thing on the world in the world. So we can live without food for certain level, but without water we can't. So water is the main primary source for every human or even living being in this world, including the animals, even anything. What is saving an survey? You can conduct it. You can organize students to do the survey. How much water is going to waste in a day in their house, in the school, or how much the person is wasting in a day. So this gives a lot of clarity to the students. And debates, organize the debates on energy consumption, like because water is wasting, the energy, the electricity producing will be low, the consumption will be less. So these are the differentiate they can understand. And awareness on hydroponic plantation, which is with 50 ml of water, hydroponic plantation is possible. So many are doing now. So many have created the career also, coming from the IT sector, coming from normal homemakers, turned up into hydroponic plantation makers. So, and also the solar energy, the most efficient one, solar energy. If you save a lot of electricity through solar, because the natural rays of the sun, it's going to help us a lot. So then we can save a lot of things on the world. We can avoid the consumption of electricity. Appoint water spies in the campus, like you can give them award or reward, whatever it is, to make a green campus. Appoint a spy of team of a spy to detect the water leakages. Our people used to drinking water place, people will wash their hands. Even teachers also, I've seen many times. So this spying team will monitor all these things. They will going to arrest those kind of mistakes, even elders or youngsters. But you see the change in your campus or in the your school or whatever it is. Even at a house, the child will stop using the water usage, I mean excess water usage. This is going to stop, give you a lot of good results. And then value of education. The previous PPT also, I was almost explained about the value of education, but now how to promote the value of education. Visit the local schools, explain let your students explain the value of education through a kind of a skit or some kind of flash mob. At least show them the value of education, without education, how the life will be there. Show the difference. So make a skit or something, organize students, take the local schools or a government school, and make them to present there. So everybody will have an idea, because a lot of rural areas, school students will not come to the classrooms. Parents says they are going to earn money instead of sending to school. So these kind of promotions will help more people to come and become educators. Even adults also can educate themselves in the evening time after coming from the work. So there is a give a role to them. I have done this practically. All this, whatever I'm explaining today, all my practical experience. So give them a day of being a teacher. They will come to know the uh, hurdles, the stress of a teacher in a day. Then they will say, one day we cannot able to survive. We cannot survive for it as a teacher. How the teacher is taking care of all the 9 months in a year as a teacher. Just they will have a thought, and their manners, their body language, their behavior will totally change from the next day onwards. I'm damn sure. And methods of teaching skills, that is also one of the part of the one day teacher, or they can create different teaching techniques through storytelling or maybe puppet, anything. They can go and display, like I told you, mono action, mime shows, and etc. Then classroom exchange program. This is a going to be a lot of fun, but they'll give a lot of knowledge. You can exchange with the same city school. You can go and ask permission of the other school, or you can take them to other schools internationally on the virtual meeting, the virtual classroom exchange programs. Or we can take the students, depend upon the situation, traveling to another country physically, and then we will go to other school for 10-15 days. We will stay with them, understand their teaching methodologies. This is the biggest change, and it's going to be a lot of differentiation in their in the way of behavior, and as well as study skills. This and all lot, this gives them a lot of impact. And they no need to inform here onwards what to do. They will understand what will be their career, what kind of sources they have to help for their career. And then virtual so exchange skills, already I told this. Similarly, it's like a exchange program, it includes in that. And visit to rural schools, I already explained. And teaching adults, it's also there. So coming to gender equality, nowadays, now and then, even yesterday I heard there is a small girl child has been manipulated, and somebody elder lady has been taken away by some men who are known to her. So because there is no gender equality as respect, the mother is the primary person, the parents are the primary person, the primary people to generate the respect towards other gender. Whether it's a boy or it's a girl, we have to explain them right from the childhood how we have to respect other gender. So it doesn't mean that men are degraded and women has to be graded. Similar way, women should not be degraded, men has to not to be highlighted. So everybody is equal. everybody is working together, everybody is studying together. So even right from the school age level, the mindset of the student has to be equalized through this kind of concepts. Teacher and the parents has to play a big role in this, especially more than teacher, even parents. So try to organize some orientation sessions on this to parents, how to motivate children on this personally, because a lot of time they'll spend at home instead of the school, and the teacher only can give certain instructions, but she has to complete her course, so she has to focus more on the course curriculum. So these are the things which where parents has to play the primary role, and they have to come on the into the picture. And that comes to the poverty, the value of money, poverty. So everybody want to earn money, but how much money you have to earn, how much you have to spend, how much you require, and how much excess why you are taking. So these and all things where this has to be done a kind of small drama or a skit. The teacher can give a clarity for the students how to respect the money also. If money is not there, what is the situation? But there should not be a greedy to earn money. There should be a positiveness in earning money. The person should not uh, give pressure to people or give sufferings to others to bring money during his career. After becoming entrepreneur, or becoming into, or he may be stepped into any other organizations as a professional. So to wave off this kind of situations, make them to understand what is the value of money and the life. Take them to slums, maybe with a lot of precautions, tribal villages. I've taken students to tribal villages. We used to make the students to talk to the tribals and make them to understand the cleanliness and the education, the necessity of the education, and the girl child education, etc., and also hygienic part related. All these things we make our students to talk to them, play some video or the projector based screens. We will stay there 1 or 2 days as per the comfortable levels, or maybe one day monetary leave in. We will teach them every fortnight. We will travel them, and sometimes we organize even medical camps there. The students are the main role here. They're going to take part of the main role is students, so they have to organize this. Only thing, we will give the ideas and back end support and the all kind of transportation, etc. So then the happy life. Some people in the rural villages, if you see, all the people are mostly happy. I've seen that, and they don't bother what happens tomorrow. That's the beauty of the life they live. This is a lifestyle called and sustainable life. So whatever they want, they will keep it. Rest of the thing they'll sell away in the market. That money, whatever the little money they'll get, they'll be happy with that. But when you have education, when you have a knowledge, so how can the child has to save and secure money in the future generations? And also the poverty reasons, let them understand and study the analysis, why it is happening, why the people are like this, what they have not done, what if they have done better, how they will be. So all these things, give the ideas to them, question marks to them, let them come with the answers. And then comes the interdependence between the humans and the environment. This is my favorite topic, because human and environment, it's having a close scientific and environmental connection. Some emotional connection is there, which I understood that. So when you leave shoes and walk in the farm or the sand, I mean the plain fields, I can feel the connectivity from the earth. We can feel the vibes. So the Mother Earth has giving us some idea or some message to us. And if you see the farmer, that's what I'm going to tell. The farmer is having a deep connectivity with Mother Earth, none other than person in this world. So I respect the farmer as he is the primary person to connect with the earth, none other than us. Though we are educated, though people are rich, though people are having so much of knowledge, but the farmer will not have any knowledge. He is an illiterate person. He is not an architecture. He is not an engineer. He is not a proper educated, I mean, into the particular scientific agriculture. So think on this. Go to the farms, observe the farmer, talk to him, find out how he is going to analyze, and he can he can understand and he can sense the weather conditions, what was going to happen, when it's going to happen. We will the scientific team in environmental side, they will sense it through radars or some kind of things, scientific materials, equipment. But without anything, the farmer is going to predict the next day weather will be there, how he has to he is going to connect, and he'll talk indirectly from his heart with the mother earth. Otherwise, the greenery this much will come, it will not be there. If you talk to the mother earth or the plants, the greenery will be very bright. If you don't involve heartfully, the greenery will be not that much clear and happy to see. When you cross through the countryside, you will watch the greenery most compared to the urban cities. So how much happiness you feel from your heart. I hope you are all observed it. So that is the reason. So connect with the earth. Let children also connect with the earth. Let them learn. So try to give them the respect. Tell them to respect the land, respect the field, respect the farmer. So organize a trip to them and talk to him. Let the students take an interview, make it a video session, photograph, and present in the school what they learned from this trips. So everywhere, wherever I go, let them make a note of reflections, survey forms, presentations. This is important. Learning outcome is important for any kind of field trip or any kind of new learnings. And then project report, it's going to create a memorable record in their lifestyle with the farmers, especially I'm telling. Maybe there are some people whom I came to know, they left their engineering studies, they went into farming. They're doing hydroponic farming, but directly they stepped into the fields. They're enjoying. They said we don't want to stay in IT field. We don't want to stay in business. This is the best thing which we are understanding. We are feeling happy. So happiness comes from the plantation. That's why you can cultivate the habit of plantation in your campus. I'm going to come up about that also in the next topic. So this is the part topic. You can ask children, the students, to create and cultivate the habit of doing uh, uh, plantation in their own campus, school campus, or ask them to create a kitchen garden for your school if it is a residential. So that definitely the residential campus schools will be having a kitchen. So even the same idea they can implement their own house, where the kitchen garden they can maintain in the backyards of the house, or some nowadays in urban cities people are living in apartments. Even they can create a small place plantation area for the kitchen and the balconies. And also try to understand them about the transportation expenses. Suppose schools are going to order, or even any organization, they will keep ordering some bulk materials every week, every 10 days, every 2 3 days. This is also kind of creating a carbon footprint. So tell them to train, let the students train the account department or administration department. Let them consume this energy transportation expenses. They can order for a month time, so that they will reduce the transportation uh, expenses in a month. So these kind of ideas we can create in the mind of children, and reduce the paper consumption, the usage and inventory. Similarly, so instead of taking printouts every time, they can utilize the internet, and they can keep a pen drive or something to keep the documentation safely. So a lot of administration people in the colleges and schools and corporates, they will misuse they will use a lot of paper. So paper is again to reacting to the trees. So once we use one box of tissue paper, or one tissue paper equal to one plant. So this is all interrelated. So you can explain them the students. So install e-library. Instead of making so many buying books, install e-library. It is also going to cultivate a habit of reading online books, and the Google search or whatever the technical knowledge will be improved within the students. So plantation programs always very important. And then introduce the urban agricultural clubs like deforestation, which I told you already. So agricultural clubs in schools and colleges. If you don't have a place, create a place where you can. Because I have seen in other countries, they are giving a particular space like a box type of houses. There we can children they can create agricultural plantation things which they don't have much space in the city, or maybe in the campus. They can do hydroponic planting over there. Get a expertise person, teach them 1 or 2 days, then they will continue it. And encourage the kitchen farming, already explained you. And this is going to create lot of internship program for students, they will enjoy it actually. And in my previous school, students used to bring a lot of one bag full of vegetables every 1 week. And we were so surprised. Initially, they were not happy. They were not interested. But when we encouraged them with hydroponic cultivation, they started using this, and this created given a lot of good result. And then it's going to be a real skilled entrepreneurs. They could be a good exporter, they could be a good businessman. So these are the skills going to develop behind the screen, which we don't know. And then I told you this admin and financial staff could be educated on this corporate in the corporates for the transportation pollution, to avoid too many times orders. And then also I am explain about paper consumption and the library. Now coming to the eco-friendly programs, which is beach cleanups, debate, we can you can create conferences on that as a pilot projects. Let the students go with the safety precautions, with the security guards and everything. Then we give an orientation how to clean a beach cleanup activities, how to enter into that. Bring parents also into this. Let them also enjoy this. I'm the practical example. I have given a trial in 2014 in my city, where people are against me, even parents and some of the teachers and the students. But later on today, the beach is so clean, and because of pandemic, we couldn't do last 2 years. But still, the local government is doing, as we have submitted many projects based upon the ocean conferences, and they have implemented those concepts in the beach, because we have complete cities covered with the beach seashore. So that's why I'm so much worried that beach is going to be a disaster. Then I have taken the children as the weapon, my warriors. So they are doing the with little hands, and we are guiding them. Of course, they are also enjoying now. And we can explain them how the eco-friendly programs to avoid plastic. We will throw everything in the ocean. It just we feel like a dustbin, but it's not a dustbin. Actually, we are the dustbin. So we have to secure land, as well as we have to secure the oceans also, because the voiceless creatures inside, nobody will going to take care of them. On the earth, near our pets like cats, dogs, we used to take care of very nicely, caring and all these things. But inside the water, under the water, there are so many species, and those species are sick, protecting us actually from the hurricanes and tsunamis. I know. So all these things going to be, that habitat has been destroying slowly, slowly, because of the pollution. The plastic has been throwing a lot in the oceans, and entire the down part of the oceans covered with the plastic trash. So this has to be avoided with the beach cleanup activities and awareness programs. You can do a flash mob on the beach road, ask the students to do it. If you don't have a beach, go to the lakes or ponds nearby your schools, or maybe the parks at least is enough. And then we should give a trial. Already we have implemented it. So no plastic bottles, use a metallic one. It's lifetime. And also all the recycled products related to office, even the school education stationary purpose, let us use the eco-friendly and recycled products instead of purchasing a new book or a new stationary items, that is again going to affect the trees. So let us go with eco-friendly products. So now coming to the biggest topic is waste management. So we all know what is waste management, and it covers the garbage, sewage, and other waste products, and also it includes the collection, transportation. Everything is comes under waste. So the entire life on the earth is also is contributing a lot of waste in the world, and it is generating a lot of waste. That's the reason carbon footprint has been increased. The categories we can define as types of waste is municipal solid waste, industrial waste, agricultural waste, hazardous waste. Hazardous waste, again, it is a very very dangerous thing compared to all the waste. It's electrical and electronic. And there is a waste management categories: reduction, reuse, animal feeding, recycling, composing, fermentation, landfills, incineration, land applications. So benefits also there, because when you do a lot of e-waste management, then what happens? It is going to eliminate the carbon footprint. Whatever the products available in your school or in your home, do ask the children to come and collect it all the e-waste into your school, and just call the e-waste collectors and hand over to them. This will going to harm, if you put for 10 years or 5 years all the unused electronics, is going to create hazardous I mean the liquids, the soil acids, that is going to be create, it is not going to dissolve in this in the earth. So that is going to create a lot of hazardous gases that is going to be harmful for the human and even for the cultivation of the land. So that is going to stop the growth of the resources of the sand. So let us start this e-waste, and we are already doing this. And there are two types of waste bins already we implemented in our previous organizations, and also I suggested many organizations, not only at home, we can do it at even school also. So it's a paper, glass, plastic, e-waste, metal and organic. Separate it. Let students create artistic dustbins on this in each classroom, and they can put it which is the related to the dustbins. And then recycling is nothing but healing the planet. So this concept has to inject into the mindset. So give them a kind of survey or the debate writing or debates, or ask them to write a journal, or ask them to write, come and present on with a kind of presentations in the class every week. Give them a team's task on the recycling, how many types of recyclings and all this there, and what all they can do with the recycling. Conduct a recycling products exhibition in your campus, or even students can participate in recycling competitions. So these are all will enhance the development of ideas, and they will avoid buying new items of the electronics or waste, whatever it is. They will do the recycling, and with that they will pursue a good knowledge. And this is the types of waste bins for your knowledge. This is the picture, and this is the how we are going to RRRL. Normally they say 3 RL, but I'll say 4 RL. So reduce, reuse, recycle, recovery and landfill. And then compost trash cans, that also we know that kitchen garden we can train students what are the compost trash cans. In this again, two types will be there, which is harmful and non-harmful, that is organic and non-organic. So they we should not compose the organic items into non-organic and non-organic into organic. So that is again to against the nature again. So coffee cups, pastas, oil related anything, recyclable plastic, don't dairy products or meat bones or rest over the animal meat, don't put it into the organic way compost. Only organic should be vegetables, paper napkins, or maybe related to food related, any fruits or vegetables, eggshells, etc., and not even the coconut pits. And then e-waste. So e-waste, I already explained you how it is dangerous, just information for you. And it is produced in large quantities in the globally, like 41 point of million tons of it has been produced in 2014. And now just imagine how it is going to be happen. And then in education, how it is going to give an impact, because students nowadays are doing a vigorous projects research on e-waste. This is going to develop their critical thinking and their writing skills, even creativity levels. And it's going they can even paint, and they can create posters and create awareness. They can start uh, marathons, etc., to promote this kind of projects. And they can collaborate even with NGOs to bring more effect. And there are recycler organizations where they'll produce recycled products. They can also go and do the internship, how they're doing, what they're doing, and how it is going to create. All these things going to be observation. And now I'm going to give a small tips on, like we can, not only students and educators, everyone could be wise saving energy. Simple ideas I have framed it here. Like when you want to, don't waste your air conditioner or heaters too much. And if you want to have a fresh air, most of the time open the windows and doors and breathe that fresh air, because closed rooms will never give you fresh air, or health health conditions are very poor in closed rooms. And then also try to put off the internet when it is not in using. I've seen many people put on internet broadband connections right from morning till evening on, though they were not at home. So those things should be off. Only when you're using, you should put it on. And also sometimes plug will be on for some kind of chargers, and the charge the mobile will be somewhere else. So put off all those things, unplug this, and when you're not in use. So these will reduce definitely the electricity consumption. At least one unit you can save from unplugging the plugs or switchboards, whatever it is you're using. Then the product, when really it is not in use, So those things are going to reduce. And solar and plastic anyway, you can create your campus free from the solar and the plastic with this ideas which I explained you previously. And then this is the small survey I have done. So 30% appliances nowadays everybody are using, and that refrigerators 10%, 10% consuming electronics, monitors, televisions. So we are all using this, but we are all using this much wastage. So this is a kind of small graph. And then coming final part is leadership programs. So leadership programs are nothing but already explained you, where a child or the child mind has to be developed into become a global leader. He should not be a follower. He has to generate his own ideas. He has to create his own career path. He has to create his own wavelength of understanding the scenarios, and accordingly he has to choose his destiny. So industries, universities, museum trips are all important for them to take now and then to visit, even out of India or out of country or out of your city or state, anything globally. You can take them to one industry, one education sector, and a museum or nearby port. Just let them understand. Apart from uh, the books, whatever the classroom, they will see the world in a different angle. That will give them a lot of ideas how to overcome the situations. To start a own cycle channel, let them create their own channel in a YouTube. Let them go and talk about the present situations of sustainability education, or maybe the issues of climatic conditions. So give them a kind of idea, let them present. This will develop their public speaking skills. Fear will be going off. Emotionally they'll be strong. So also they can go and talk to the professionals in corporate, see, IT sectors or non-IT sectors, or maybe industrialist or a businessman, or even anybody who is a prominent person who has gone, growth has been gone from the low to higher. So this will going to give a lot of clarity with for them. Maybe they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to be a businessman, they want to be a sportsman in the few years. We do not know, but that is going, the seed is going to into the grassroots level of their head, I mean the mind. This kind of programs are very important. And of course I told international trips are going to give them a change. And also the traveling hiccups they're going to understand instead of traveling with parents. That is the also one of my personal experience. They will change a lot within 15-10 days of travel compared to the previous behavior. The parents will find, and definitely they're going to write and appreciate the educator, the change within the child after traveling, coming back to home. And entrepreneurship programs, already I told you, let them start an NGO. Nowadays I'm seeing some students already in 13-12 years they're starting their own NGO. Even 7-8 years girl is starting an NGO. That is okay, parent support. But 13 years boy, 12 years boy, we are know, whom I know very closely, he is doing a lot of things. Every week he will do plantation program, even distributing the cotton sanitary pads in schools. They will go and talk about hygienic topics of health issues, and what all he will do it. Every week he will be engaged. I've seen the 13 years boy will go and play on the ground, but he will take care of his own sports in the during the weekdays. But every week he'll carry some along with him, 15-20 students. He motivate them. This is the what the motivation we require from each child, not one, not a single child. So this is the way we have to mobilize the ideas within the mindsets of student. And the cleanup activities already explained the how they have to do, how they can go with the collaboration with oceans related or eco-friendly related organizations, and they can conduct the help of that they can conduct the ocean cleaning programs or lake cleaning programs and internship programs, and write blogging. So writing a blog, creating a magazine, e-magazine, it's very important nowadays. So what all they're doing the activities they can create and publish in the magazines through a school, through a college, or maybe for of his own. That's a good habit instead of they playing a video games all the time. So I suggest personally all these kind of many are there, but for a short period I've given a crispy one. So these are the things, and of course global classroom collaborations, exchange programs. It gives the culture exchange and ideas changing between the countries. They'll come to know the geographical issues happening in other country or other state, and compared to their land. So they discuss on that how to rectify these things, and they might going to create a prototype products on based upon to rectify these climatic conditions, the climatic issues. And this is the sample page which I created how the classroom global classrooms has been connected. These are from of my friends' names. I just named it for a namesake, and we are all connected since last 2 3 years very closely through classroom exchange programs, and through the SDG programs we contribute. We bring our students for cultural or any kind of topics project related. We make them to collaborate with other schools, other classroom children. And finally, I want to say that this young lives always has to be with the real action, and you people are the future, and you're going to save your future also. So let us raise our voices and will not sit. Joining hands is already done. Now we have to run. We have to rush by joining hands, and we have to move forward. We have to put our minds and hands together in the field of earth with the real action. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I feel that great ideas can change the world, of course. Thank you for listening for this program.
Very well said. Thank you, Dr. Kalyani Rao, for your marvelous presentation and for giving us your valuable time. It will surely have an impact on our audience. We are grateful for sharing your knowledge and enlightening us with your pearls of wisdom and story. Also, for your contribution and sharing your insights. You know, this topic is very timely, and I believe that it will be beneficial to all educators in helping their students to be successful and responsible citizens. Remember, we only have one planet to live on. Let us take care of it. You know, I'm proud to say that in our school, in our institution, we always practice and observe the not only the 3 R's, but the 5 R's in every event and activity that we do. We even have a garden in the campus, which the students planted and maintained. So again, thank you very much. So to our dear audience, I
Thank you
want
so
to
much,
remind.
Annie.
Yes. Okay. So to our dear audience, I want to remind you to please support us with your share, tag, comment, and mention your friends. We will give the e-certificate link in the comment box. And if you will face any problem, you can collect e-certificate directly from our website. That is www.eduigp.com. Let us now move on to the next part of the program. There will be no quiz competition today. Instead, we will be having our Q&A or question and answer. Please type in your question in the comment box. Thank you. Please be reminded that e-certificates and lifetime membership certificates will be given to the most active participants. So stay with us until the end of the session and don't forget to like and share to your news feed. Please comment your question. questions for our guest speaker tonight, Dr. Kalyani Rao. Okay, so we have one from Mary Juliet de la Torre Basan. She said that we do not inherit the earth from ancestor because we borrow it from our children. How can we attain our economic development without having bad effect to our mother nature?
Is it a question? Is it how can we attain economic development? Yes, because economic development is not a particular part of one side. It should happen both ends, like this government and as well as the human. I mean, what who was going to work. We have to cultivate the idea of children. There is, spending more money right from the childhood. When they ask, they want everything when they go out. So we have to give them an idea which is necessary, which is not necessary. Even for purchasing clothes every time for the festivals, it's not a good idea. We have cultivated that idea since long time, since our ancestors. But if you see our ancestors, they don't purchase yearly once, they'll purchase the dress. I remember very well compared to all the age groups, all the places. But nowadays, every day we purchase one new dress. We just go without any reason. These are the small example. And not only that, development should come from the home, the mother, father, the primary teachers compared to the education sector. Education is only facilitation, and the teacher is only facilitator to give an idea about this information, how to develop themselves, how to grow themselves. So parent has to be done this justice for students. They have to give this idea on economic development, how to live a healthy life, happy life, without any kind of much expenses. And government is giving so many resources, but we are not using. We always go for private sector level, private places, and we go for hi-fi parties and hi-fi hotels to eat. Why can't you prepare the food at home? Give a healthy food for your child. Let the child learn and prepare for the parents. So vice versa, it is also going to compare. Am I give? I think I've cleared the doubt for you, or still anything more, Miss Mary?
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Rao, that education should really start at home.
I have stopped purchasing new clothes since last 4 5 years, because according to sustainable changes, we need to use the cotton and not the silk. So many things are there. I have stopped air conditioner. I removed air conditioner because my city is a very uh, heat waves will come here. But I have been habituated now. Initially, it was very difficult being in AC in the office, coming to home. But later on, my I thought my skin has to listen to me, and no, I'm not going to listen to my skin. So these are the small factors. Nowadays, children are habituated to luxury things. So we have to bring them to the normal level. Wherever they want, they can live. Wherever, whatever the situation, they can live happily and healthily. That is the that is the scenario we have to create. That has to come from the parents and then the teachers. Teachers comes in the second part, but parents comes in the first role.
That's right.
Any more questions?
I don't see any more questions. I think that you said it clearly, all about sustainable education. I think
Yeah,
we
one
have a
more
follow
question
up
by Mary.
question. Yes. Uh
One,
huh.
one more question by Mary. What is your
Mm-hmm.
opinion with regards to quarrying a mountains
Quarry
just yeah, quarrying a mountains just only to give way in building skyscrapers?
scrapers.
Skyscrapers. Yeah, mountaineering also is one of the good thing. The reason I've not suggested because safety is important. Safety purpose is important, and it's not for primary kids because today we are teaching about primary and pre-primary and secondary education level. So I don't want. I think I cannot suggest them to go for quarrying a mountains, but we can explain them and showing. I already explained in the beginning. Mountains are melting. The snow mountains are melting, but we can give them an idea. There are some other important things we can mention it with an example in the videos. We can do a virtual videos. They can show them to explain and understand them the need of this and the importance of this information.
I think we don't have any more questions. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Kalyani Rao. Personally, I have learned so much from this topic, and
I have
to
endless
our
real action. I have endless activities, but holiday time is up, so I made it crispy one. Next time, if you give only real action, I'll come with only real action activities.
yeah, sure.
She's
So to
asking,
our
can you
dear
give some?
knowledge seek, come again.
Yeah, one
Sorry.
more question. One more question.
Okay.
Mary, I really like your enthusiasm. You are asking about teaching strategies, how to teach children to love our Mother Earth. I already explained in my PPT. You take them to the nature, take them to the garden, take them to the zoo or any rehabilitation centers of animals. You know, show the comparison, love, and they can share the love there. They can adopt a animal at least in the nature for a lifetime. We have suggested some students like that, so they can get that affection. Even in a zoo animal, you can adopt nowadays. In my place, there is an option, and also you can take them to the mountains and the nature, show them the nature is only connected with us. If you give a good to that, it will give good to us. If you're going to cut the trees, it's going to be give disasters. So many realistic things are happening nowadays in the Spain, Norway, and many other places. Forests are burning, because nature is somewhat is angry on us. So explain those things, but not in a elaborated where children should not disturb they should not go into the gloom. So give them a clarity in a healthy way, happy way, like they have to understand the connectivity of the Mother Earth. So the soil. So let them also go into the fields and they can do the plantation along with the farmers. We have done one program with Japan school collaboration from India. Uh, we have taken students in disguise of farmers. They used to go to the farmers like farmers, dressing in their dress and all. They will go and do the interview. They will also do all the farming along with the farmer. So every week they will go once in a week and they'll write a report. They will convey this report to the Japan school, and those children will again reflect from their school with the same kind of action. So this is going to create a bridge between the nature, mother earth, and also the children. But this has to be done through the parents and as well as educators. Here educators can also take them with a trip, not to every time you go for a movie, go for some other places like Pizza Hut and all these things. Just make them to go to the country level, rural areas. Let them go and connect with the nature. Give a task to talk to nature, how to from the heart. From the heart, the child can talk. Even we can talk to the nature. The nature will reflect you. I have done many practices on that. The nature will talk to you. Give a task to the children. Keep two plants in the balcony or at and maybe in his backyard. And compared to the two plants, the child can touch every day one plant and say I love you, and the second plant let him not touch for a week. See the difference of the plants. The plant which he touched with the hand and said I love you, it's going to be the green, and it's going to be healthy, and it's going to be taller compared to the other plant. This is the practical experience we have done, and still we have given to task for so many children. This is the what the student can connect with the mother earth. I hope I have given this answer. Kristen, can you give tips to intern teachers like us in the field of teaching? My goodness, you are not like I think you are not an intern teacher now. After listening to this program, you become a teacher now. You can give all these tips to the students. I'm telling you, you can give all these tips to the teacher to students. Anything related to natural, let them not use plastic. First thing is plastic. Avoid plastic. Okay, second point is avoid the waste. These 2 points are important. And then with these 2 points, everything will be reconnected, interrelated sustainable development goals. So try to do a research in the internet how you're going to get these points on plastic and waste, these two things. Then if you still want to take my email ID, collect it from IGP. I'm there to help you. I have a large team of educators in WhatsApp groups. I used to lead them for the global projects. So I'll also add you in that. I will train you on that. Thank you. Thank you, Adhikari sir. Thanks for your compliments. Thank you, everyone here who is giving the compliments and understanding my ideas, because these are not anything creativity. I've just done to from my heart. I've done practical in my lifetime. Since 7.5 years, I'm working on this, and I'm a passionate person on SDGs. Now I want to do something related to the nature. So every time I think how to motivate students, youngsters, and even doing online SDG MUNs also. So we are doing that, and upcoming projects are coming with Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, and other some other countries are joining for our oceans project. If you anybody interested, please collect my email ID. We can all combinedly can do this project. Thank you, Mary, for understanding. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, everyone. I think all are happy with my answer. I'm saved today. Thank God.
Yes. We all are Dr. Rao. I think my takeaway for this, I think, is children. We have to teach children the lifelong skills, and that children really learn from first-hand experience. So we have to give it to them.
They are the
I think
future.
no.
They are our future.
Hmm.
Actually,
Yes,
we are
that's
not
right.
giving a future. Right now, students already learned about SDGs. They are doing very pretty well products and the prototype, and we can't even tell them what to do. At least in the last pandemic has given a kind of information to everyone,
Hmm.
even normal life people person also analyzed the value of life, a lifestyle, because of the pandemic. Actually, we say pandemic is very bad, but I'll say pandemic is given a kind of experience, a lesson, a moral for us, how to be
That's
healthy,
right.
how to take care of others, how to share our compassion and empathy and love for others. This is more important. Earning money is not a big deal, but we are missing the love and affection, the connectivity of the family. The pandemic made entire the family together, being in two
Mhm.
years at home. Am I right or not?
I strongly agree. I think no more questions. So, to our audience, e certificates and lifetime membership certificates will be given to the most active participants. So, stay with us. And also, don't forget to share, tag, and comment. Also, mention your friends. You can also collect e certificates directly from our website, www.eduigp.com. So, to our dear knowledge seekers, I would love to thank you all for attending tonight's session. I am sure you have learned something new and will implement it in your life. Please leave a review or recommendation on our page. This will help our institution to be better and beneficial to all. Again, don't forget to collect e-certificate and give a check-in with IGP. Please also spread the information with your friends. We hope to see you all again in the next webinar. So you may claim your e-certificates. Use the code IGP IGP1234. So today's program name, Sustainable Education and Real Action. Just visit www.eduigp.com. So once again, I want to remind you all to please support us with your share, tag, comment, and mention your friends. We will give the e-certificate link in the comment box, as you can see on the screen, and give a check-in. So brave the pandemic with a smile and warm positivity. Stay happy, stay safe, everyone. I am your host, Annie Grace P. Solano, signing off. Happy weekend!